Hi everyone, it's Barbara and my son Samuel right here, and I wanted to share with you our visit today to Freshfield Farms and show you what you can get for the money. And as you can see, we've got quite an assortment. So today I went there and our total bill came out to $46.32, and this is everything that we got. What we're doing is preparing for our Starting Fresh plan, which we're going to start juicing. So I wanted to share with you everything that I bought, and what we have here is enough to juice for all of us for about 3 days. And first of all, I went and got some apples. Apples are kind of a staple when you're juicing. It adds fresh sweetness to it. And of course, lemons. Lemons is something I incorporate in my diet every day. In fact, the first thing you should do when you wake up in the morning is take a lemon, about half of a lemon, and squeeze that into some room temperature water, of course pure water, and drink that each day. That's one of the first things that you do when you wake up in the morning. So lemons incorporate into the juicing plan on a daily basis. But anyway, we've got some fresh lemons, we've got apples and jalapeno peppers, turmeric, and some fresh ginger root. Right here we have some cilantro. This is two bunches of cilantro. This is 2 bunches of parsley. This is organic dandelion greens, and these are absolutely wonderful. They're so healthy for you. And here I have the most beautiful assortment of chard. Isn't that beautiful? It's Mother Nature's rainbow. And I just love to put it in a vase because it's so beautiful to look at. When you're not juicing, chard is wonderful to saute it with different seasonings. But for now, we're going to be juicing it. I got some avocados, and we don't juice avocados, but when you're starting, these are great to get started in the few days before you start juicing. It's very good for your brain. Avocados are a wonderful food that has the omega-3, the omega fatty acids that your body needs, and it's actually a great fat for you. And we have some oranges. We have some beets. The beets are one of our superfoods, so they're wonderful in juicing. And I love to use the greens from the beets. What I do is I come home and I cut the greens off and I use them right away while they're fresh, whereas the beets themselves can stay in the refrigerator. They can keep for a few days, so you can use those. Now, I've got some organic bananas. We're not going to juice with them, but I have my son here, and as he's getting started, then he likes to eat the bananas and he likes to eat the healthy foods. So I got that for him, and I got some grapes for him as well. Here I have some organic kale, and if you put this and this together, you've got the Holy Grail. It's a recipe that we call the Holy Grail, which is grapes and kale. So I actually did an article about that I'll share with you, the Holy Grail of health. So another food that is wonderful, even though it doesn't produce much greens, is the cilantro and the parsley. They're super healthy for you, and the dandelion greens as well. As many greens as you can incorporate, the better. So I'll tell you another great juice. That's if you take 4 oranges, a lemon, and a coconut and make a juice out of that. It's awesome. And down here we have some celery, and we have the cucumbers, we have cabbage. And one of the reasons that I really like to incorporate cabbage in the juice is because it is an excellent food for fighting cancer. Some of the foods that fight cancer are, of course, the kale, the cabbage, the broccoli, whereas I don't normally juice broccoli. I do juice the cabbage, and I do juice the kale. So we've got pineapple, and the pineapple is wonderful when you've got all of these greens, especially down here we've got these collard greens. So it was amazing. All these collard greens, there's this 4 big bunches of collard greens, and every bit of this was just $4 total. And of course, I've got the carrots. And everything, as I mentioned, should be organic. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are one of the dirty dozen, so you want to make sure that you get those organic. So, the pineapple is wonderful when you have these super greens like collards that can get a little bit bitter when you're juicing. The kale and the collards and the cilantro and especially the dandelion greens, they can get a little bit rough if you're not used to them. So you want to make sure that you use the apple and use the pineapple, use some sweetener, the sweet fruits to complement them so that it's palatable and it's good. And especially the beets. Beets are actually really sweet. Carrots and beets make a juice really sweet and tasty. Not only are they superfoods, but it's wonderful. You can put carrots, beets, pineapple, and apple with any greens, and it turns out fabulous. So, this is what we got today, and of course this is our kale. Kale comes in different kinds, but for juicing, I like the leafy kind better than I like the curly kind. You do get more juice out of it, and it just works better. So, this is what we got. Let me go back down here and talk a little bit about the Dirty Dozen with some of these things. Now, the Dirty Dozen is usually the foods that you want to buy organic, and you want to buy them organic. The Dirty Dozen usually consists of the ones with thin peelings. The Dirty Dozen list does change from time to time according to the number of pesticides that they put in them, but generally apples are on the Dirty Dozen, so that's something that you definitely want to buy organic. Another thing that you would definitely want to buy organic, as I mentioned earlier, are the tomatoes. They're thin-skinned as well. Now, cucumbers can sometimes, if you get an organic cucumber, you can eat the peeling. If you don't, you definitely want to peel it. But that's one of the things that does vary from the Dirty Dozen from time to time. And let's see, what else would we think that of this group? The Dirty Dozen. Of course, now a pineapple, you can see that it's got a really thick skin. So the pesticides couldn't penetrate that. So it doesn't matter if you buy a pineapple organic or not. And of course, carrots, they are on the Dirty Dozen. You'd want them to be organic. They are in the soil, and you have a lot of pesticides in the soil. So that's some of the foods that are on our Dirty Dozen list. And there are some others. Peaches, nectarines, but what we've got today is what we are starting with our fresh start plan that we're going to juice. Oh, I also want to talk about this. Turmeric and ginger are absolutely wonderful for you. They're wonderful roots, and turmeric is an awesome root. Not only is it cancer fighting, but it's amazing that a lot of antidepressants like Zoloft are made from I think it's called curcumin, which comes from the turmeric root in high concentrations. So most of the medicines, well, all of the medicines come from some type of plant. So anyway, this is amazing. So what we're going to do then is we're going to get started with juicing, but I just wanted to share with you, a lot of people think that juicing can be really expensive, but in reality, it's not, because if you figure that this is 3 days worth of food for $46, that to me is very inexpensive. And Fresh Food Farms is just one of the many places that you can get your fresh produce. There's farmers markets, there's all kinds of places in your local area that you can go. Even BJ's has very organic foods. Of course, you know there's Whole Foods. There's many others that you can go to. But the truth is that if it's not on the Dirty Dozen list, then you can get it from your local grocery store, the foods that you need to. So, thanks for joining us today. In the next video, I will share some recipes with you, and we'll just talk more about what we're going to do with these foods that we got today. Right, Sam?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.